Willkommen bei Exam Heist, Ihr Partner für Zertifizierungserfolg. Wir bieten umfassende Lernmaterialien, online und offline, und begleiten Sie Schritt für Schritt. Von PDF-Leitfäden bis zu praxisnahen Übungssätzen. Alle wichtigen Fragen für Ihre Zertifizierung sind abgedeckt. Sie haben jederzeit die richtigen Ressourcen griffbereit. Laden Sie PDFs herunter. Machen Sie Tests und nutzen Sie unser Expertenteam. Mit interaktiver Online-Praxis können Sie sich überall und jederzeit prüfen. Unsere PDFs sind prüfungsbereit, sorgfältig zusammengestellt und bleiben stets aktuell. Tausende Lernende haben sich bereits erfolgreich zertifizieren lassen und vertrauen auf unsere Qualität. Zertifizierte Fachkräfte stehen bereit, um Ihre Fragen zu beantworten. Starten Sie heute und geben Sie Ihrer Vorbereitung den entscheidenden Vorteil mit Exam Heist. Besuchen Sie examheist.com. Exam Heist. Ihr Weg zum Erfolg beginnt hier.
Question 1. Which setting in indexes conference allows data retention to be controlled by time? Option A. Max days to keep. Option B. Move to frozen after. Option C. Max data retention time. Option D. Frozen time period in sex. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Frozen time period in sex. Question 2. The universal forwarder has which capabilities when sending data? Select all that apply. Option A. Sending alerts. Option B. Compressing data. Option C. Obfuscating, hiding data. Option D. Indexer acknowledgement. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Compressing data. Option D. Indexer acknowledgement. Question 3. Which of the following are supported configuration methods to add inputs on a forwarder? Select all that apply. Option A. CLI. Option B. Edit inputs. Conf. Option C. Edit forwarder. Conf. Option D. Forwarder management. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. CLI. Option B. Edit inputs. Conference. Option D. Forwarder management. Question 4. In which Splunk configuration is the SEDCMD used? Option A. Props. Conf. Option B. Inputs. Conf. Option C. Indexes. Conf. Option D. Transforms. Conf. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Props. Conference. Question 5. Which of the following are supported configuration methods to add inputs on a forwarder? Choose all that apply. Option A. CLI. Option B. Edit inputs. Conf. Option C. Edit forwarder. Conf. Option D. Forwarder management. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. CLI. Option B. Edit inputs. Conference. Question 6. Which parent directory contains the configuration files in Splunk? Option A. $Splunk Home, etc. Option B. $Splunk Home, var. Option C. $Splunk Home, conference. Option D. $Splunk Home, default. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. $Splunk Home, etc. Question 7. Which forwarder type can pass data prior to forwarding? Option A. Universal forwarder. Option B. Heaviest forwarder. Option C. Hyper forwarder. Option D. Heavy forwarder. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Heavy forwarder. Question 8. Which Splunk component consolidates the individual results and prepares reports in a distributed environment? Option A. Indexes. Option B. Forwarder. Option C. Search head. Option D. Search peers. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, search head. Question 9. Which Splunk component distributes apps and certain other configuration updates to search head cluster members? Option A. Deployer. Option B. Cluster master. Option C. Deployment server. Option D. Search head cluster master. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, deployer. Question 10. Where should apps be located on the deployment server that the clients pull from? Option A. $Splunk home, etc. apps. Option B. $Splunk home, etc. search. Option C. $Splunk home, etc. master apps. Option D. $Splunk home, etc. deployment apps. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, $Splunk home, etc. deployment apps. Question 11. This file has been manually created on a universal forwarder. Opt, Splunk forwarder, etc. apps, MITA, local, inputs. Conf, monitor, var, log, messages. Source type equals syslog, index equals syslogger. New Splunk admin comes in and connects the universal forwarders to a deployment server and deploys the same app with a new inputs. Conference file. Opt, Splunk, etc. deployment apps, MITA, local, inputs. Conf, monitor, var, log, maylog. Source type equals myog, index equals syslog. Which file is now monitored? Option A. var, log, messages. Option B. var, log, maylog. Option C. var, log, maylog and var, log, messages. Option D. None of the above. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, var, log, maylog. Question 12. In which phase of the index time process does the license metering occur? Option A. Input phase. Option B. Parsing phase. Option C. Indexing phase. Option D. Licensing phase. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, indexing phase. Question 13. You update a props conference file while Splunk is running. You do not restart Splunk and you run this command. Splunk b tool props list debug. What will the output be? Option A. A list of all the configurations on disk that Splunk contains. Option B. A verbose list of all configurations as they were when Splunk had started. Option C. A list of props conference configurations as they are on disk along with the file path from which the configuration is located. Option D. A list of the current running props conference configurations along with the file path from which the configuration was made. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. A list of props conference configurations as they are on disk along with the file path from which the configuration is located. Question 14. When running the command shown below, which is the default path in which deployment server conference is created? Splunk set deploy poll deploy server port. Option A. Splunk home, etc. deployment. Option B. Splunk home, etc. system, local. Option C. Splunk home, etc. system, default. Option D. Splunk Home, etc., Apps, Deployment. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, Splunk Home, etc., System, Local. Question 15. The priority of layered Splunk configuration files depends on the files. Option A, owner. Option B, weight. Option C, context. Option D, creation time. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, context. Question 16. When configuring monitor inputs with whitelists or blacklists, what is the supported method of filtering the lists? Option A, slash notation. Option B, regular expression. Option C, irregular expression. Option D, wildcard only expression. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, regular expression. Question 17. What is required when adding a native user to Splunk? Choose all that apply. Option A, password. Option B, username. Option C, full name. Option D, default app. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, password. Option B, username. Question 18. What are the minimum required settings when creating a network input in Splunk? Option A, protocol, port number. Option B, protocol, port, location. Option C, protocol, username, port. Option D, protocol, IP, port number. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, protocol, port number. Question 19. Which Splunk component requires a forwarder license? Option A, search head. Option B, heavy forwarder. Option C, heaviest forwarder. Option D, universal forwarder. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, heavy forwarder. Question 20. Which optional configuration setting in inputs conference allows you to selectively forward the data to specific indexer? S. Option A, TCP routing. Option B, indexer list. Option C, indexer group. Option D, indexer routing. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, TCP routing. Question 21. To set up a network input in Splunk, what needs to be specified? Option A, file path. Option B, username and password. Option C, network protocol and port number. Option D, network protocol and MAC address. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, network protocol and port number. Question 22. Which Splunk forwarder type allows parsing of data before forwarding to an indexer? Option A, universal forwarder. Option B, parsing forwarder. Option C, heavy forwarder. Option D, advanced forwarder. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, heavy forwarder. Question 23. Which of the following statements describe deployment management? Choose all that apply. Option A, requires an enterprise license. Option B, is responsible for sending apps to forwarders. Option C, once used, is the only way to manage forwarders. Option D, can automatically restart the host OS running the forwarder. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, requires an enterprise license. Option B, is responsible for sending apps to forwarders. Question 24. During search time, Which directory of configuration files has the highest precedence? Option A. $Splunk home, etc, system, local. Option B. $Splunk home, etc, system, default. Option C. $Splunk home, etc, apps, app1, local. Option D. $Splunk home, etc, users, admin, local. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. $Splunk home, etc, apps, app1, local. Question 25. Within props, conf, which stanzas are valid for data modification? Choose all that apply. Option A. Host. Option B. Server. Option C. Source. Option D. Source type. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Host. Option C. Source. Option D. Source type. Question 26. What is the correct order of steps in Duo multi-factor authentication? Option A. 1. Request login. 2. Connect to SAML server. 3. Duo MFA. 4. Create user session. 5. Authentication granted. 6. Log into Splunk. Option B. 1. Request login. 2. Duo MFA. 3. Authentication granted. 4. Connect to SAML server. 5. Log into Splunk. 6. Create user session. Option C. 1. Request login. 2. Check authentication, group mapping. 3. Authentication granted. 4. Duo MFA. 5. Create user session. 6. Log into Splunk. Option D. 1. Request login. 2. Duo MFA. 3. Check authentication, group mapping. 4. Create user session. 5. Authentication granted. 6. Log into Splunk. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. 1. Request login. 2. Check authentication, group mapping. 3. Authentication granted. 4. Duo MFA. 5. Create user session. 6. Log into Splunk. Question 27. Where can scripts for scripted inputs reside on the host file system? Choose all that apply. Option A. $Splunk home, bin, scripts. Option B. $Splunk home, etc, apps, bin. Option C. $Splunk home, etc, system, bin. Option D. $Splunk home, etc, apps, less than your app greater than, bin. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. $Splunk home, bin, scripts. Option C. $Splunk home, etc, system, bin. Option D. $Splunk home, etc, apps, less than your app greater than, bin. Question 28. How does the monitoring console monitor forwarders? Option A. By pulling internal logs from forwarders. Option B. By using the forwarder monitoring add-on. Option C. With internal logs forwarded by forwarders. Option D. With internal logs forwarded by deployment server. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. With internal logs forwarded by forwarders. Question 29. Which of the following are methods for adding inputs in Splunk? Select all that apply. Option A. CLI. Option B. Splunk Web. Option C. Editing inputs. Conf. Option D. Editing monitor. Conf. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. CLI. Option B. Splunk Web. Question 30. Which of the following are supported options when configuring optional network inputs? Option A. metadata override, sender filtering options, network input queues, quantum queues. Option B, metadata override, sender filtering options, network input queues, memory, persistent queues. Option C, filename override, sender filtering options, network output queues, memory, persistent queues. Option D, metadata override, receiver filtering options, network input queues, memory, persistent queues. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, metadata override, sender filtering options, network input queues, memory, persistent queues. Question 31. What is the default character encoding used by Splunk during the input phase? Option A, UTF-8. Option B, UTF-16. Option C, EBCDIC. Option D, ISO 8859. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, UTF-8. Question 32. Which of the following enables compression for universal forwarders in outputs? CUNF. Option A, UDPOUT. MySplunk indexer 11. Compression equals true. Option B, TCP-out. Default group equals my indexes compressed equals true. Option C, opt, Splunk forwarder, bin, Splunk enable compression. Option D, TCP-ont. My indexes, server equals my Splunk indexer 1. 9997. My Splunk indexer 2. 9997. Decompression equals false. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, TCP-out. Default group equals my indexes compressed equals true. Question 33. Which layers are involved in Splunk configuration file layering? Select all that apply. Option A, app context. Option B, user context. Option C, global context. Option D, forwarder context. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, app context. Option B, user context. Option C, global context. Question 34. Which of the following statements apply to directory inputs? Choose all that apply. Option A, all discovered text files are consumed. Option B, compressed files are ignored by default. Option C, Splunk recursively traverses through the directory structure. Option D, when adding new log files to a monitored directory, the forwarder must be restarted to take them into account. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, all discovered text files are consumed. Option C, Splunk recursively traverses through the directory structure. Question 35. How would you configure your dist search conference to allow you to run the search below? Source type equals access combined status equals 200 action equals purchase Splunk server group equals Houston. Option A, distributed search. NYC. Default equals false service equals NYC1. 8089. NYC2. 8089. Distributed search. Houston. Default equals false service equals Houston1. 8089. Houston 2. 8089. Option B, distributed search. Service equals NYC1. NYC2. Houston 1. Houston 2. Distributed search. NYC. Default equals false service equals NYC1. NYC2. Distributed search. Houston. Default equals false service equals Houston 1. Houston 2. Option C. Distributed search. Service equals NYC1. 8089, NYC2, 8089, Houston 1, 8089, Houston 2, 8089, Distributed Search, NYC, default equals false service equals NYC1, 8089, NYC2, 8089, Distributed Search, Houston, default equals false service equals Houston 1, 8089, Houston 2, 8089, Option D, Distributed Search, service equals NYC1, 8089, NYC2, 80893, Houston 1, 8089, Houston 2, 8089, Distributed Search, NYC, default equals false service equals NYC1, 8089, NYC2, 8089, Distributed Search, Houston, default equals false service equals Houston 1, 808977006, Houston 2, 808983550. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, Distributed Search, service equals NYC1, 8089, NYC2, 8089, Houston 1, 8089, Houston 2, 8089, Distributed Search, NYC, default equals false service equals NYC1, 8089, NYC2, 8089, Distributed Search, Houston, default equals false service equals Houston 1, 8089, Houston 2, 8089. Question 36. Which of the following is a valid distributed search group? Option A, Distributed Search, Paris, default equals false service equals server 1, server 2. Option B, Search Group, Paris, default equals false service equals server 1, 8089, server 2, 8089. Option C, Search Group, Paris, default equals false service equals server 1, 9997, server 2, 9997. Option D, Distributed Search, Paris, default equals false service equals server 1, 8089, server 2, 8089. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, Distributed Search, Paris, default equals false service equals server 1, 8089, server 2, 8089. Question 37. Which of the following indexes come pre-configured with Splunk Enterprise? Select all that apply. Option A, License. Option B, Internal. Option C, External. Option D, the fish bucket. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, Internal. Option D, the fish bucket. Question 38. For single-line event source types, it is most efficient to set should linemerge to what value? Option A, True. Option B, False. Option C, less than regex string greater than. Option D, new line character. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, False. Question 39. Which Splunk component does a search head primarily communicate with? Option A, Indexer. Option B, Forwarder. Option C, Cluster Master. Option D, Deployment Server. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, Indexer. Question 40. Which layers are involved in Splunk configuration file layering? Choose all that apply. Option A, App Context. Option B, User Context. Option C, Global Context. Option D. Forwarder context. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A, app context, Option B, user context, Option C, global context.